Hello and welcome to the third edition of the Foster Guy Florida Golf Show. And my man Tom Shea, who is the Foster Guy Florida. We're talking a little golf. We got a special guest coming up, and we usually have a lot of fun on the show. What's up, Tommy? How are you, buddy?
JP, how are you? Good to see you again.
Wow, a full day of sitting on the couch watching the British Open. Man, I love getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, oh wow, the British Open's already on.
Well, I was searching for it last night to see where it was going to be. You think it's on Golf Channel, but no, it's on
Oh,
USA. It's on USA. So I found it. I was ready to go around the same time this morning. So that was really cool. So
yeah, I know. I gotta search for everything these days.
I
Remember
know.
when we had 3 channels, 4 channels?
Exactly.
Everything was so easy to find.
Exactly.
Not
And hey,
anymore.
I gotta give a shout out. Scottish Open.
Yeah.
My man Chris Goddard from New Jersey, my
Yes,
county
yes.
back home. Fist pump for Goddard. So
Is he from your county back home?
yeah,
in
Little
Jersey?
Silver, New Jersey. I grew
Yeah,
up like 20 minutes away. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, great kid. I've met him a couple times, and he went over there without a spot in the Open. He goes and wins the Scottish Open. Now he's in the Open. I think he's 46 right now, one under after today. He
How
played
about
this morning,
that?
so yeah, so very cool.
What a 2 weeks.
And he took on Rory last week and took him down. It was awesome. So.
Yeah, that was a hell of a.
And they played the
performance.
Renaissance
The
Club.
Renaissance.
Can't say Renaissance, the Renaissance. And I played that golf course. That was a great place. So.
Yeah, I've played that one as well. I played Royal Part Rush where they're playing the Open here,
Yeah.
and it's one of the most spectacular places
Oh yeah.
you'll ever play.
Places,
Yeah,
all those golf courses are there.
you sit on. I think it's the 6 tee that backs up to the Firth Forest there. I believe it's called.
Very nice.
Yeah, and you
nice
see-
accent.
You look down the coast and you see the castles
Yep.
where they filmed the Game of Thrones.
Yes.
We had a caddy. His name was Seamus. I said, Seamus, you know about the Game of Thrones? He says, no, about it. I was in it. I said, what? I said, yes.
Nice.
I was burn victim number 7.
Oh, nice.
Burn victim number 7 from a dragon. Came down. He was like, really? We're like, okay, show us what you did. He's like running down the fairway and he's like, ah.
That's
And he
awesome.
falls on the fairway and the dragon comes in and tortures him. That's how it goes. So it was very, very believable. Yeah.
Like how great are the caddies over there?
Oh,
too?
they're honestly, they may be the best part of the show.
They really are.
The golf courses are fantastic.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
best part of the
yeah.
show. But a close second are the caddies who are betting on you.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
they
unbeknownst
are.
to you,
Yes, they are.
when they get they get your bag, and they'll watch you warm up, and they'll see what you do, and then they'll bet a quid or two
Exactly.
with the other
And
caddies.
It doesn't take them long, 1 or 2 swings,
No.
and they know what you got. So.
One of my favorite stories. We were playing the old course, and my good buddy Dave Hammond. I'm playing with him, and he's got this curmudgeon old caddy who was on a bender the night before. He shows up reeking of booze. Right, and we're going out, and he's like, every he's like, shit, it's just the whole thing going on and on,
Crumbling.
just grumbling the whole way. So we get to about hole number 3, and Dave's in one of these big pop bunkers, and it's like 6 feet over his head. He's trying to get out of the damn thing. He's like, 1, hits the wall, 2, hits the wall again, and the caddy's going, Jesus, hit under the ball, and he's like, I'm trying. It's another one into the wall. He's like, oh, I thought you knew how to play golf.
Oh yeah, they're not shy about what they
No,
say.
and he's like, he's fighting. And my buddy Dave's like, get the hell out of here. He fired his caddy on the 3rd hole at St. Andrews.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's all part of it, man. It's all part. It's
Oh,
just
it
a
is.
different game, and I love watching these guys struggle.
I do too.
Yeah,
That's my favorite part.
it's,
I mean, well, because
it's
again, they're
sadistic,
the
I
best
know.
in the world, and when you get over there, it's the unknown.
Yeah,
With the weather and the wind and the rain, and I just, I don't want it to get too crazy, but
right.
just enough to rattle them and see how good they are.
Yeah.
So
You went over there and played. So how much different was it for you to play links golf than you may have grown up on some links courses in Jersey, I guess, right?
Well, I'll tell you, the first wave I went through, we were talking off air about it, but I went and played in a pro-am with the club that I was working at up in Jersey. And I'll just give a perfect example. We're on Turnberry with the Elsa course. And I think it was the 9th hole, downwind. I hit a driver and I had to basically tap a sand wedge because the wind was howling. The next hole, par 5, one iron, one iron, one iron. I'm hitting it 2 feet off the ground, and I barely get there.
Yeah.
And we had to play. I mean, we had snow, sleet because it was a pro-am. I mean, I broke. I think I shot 95, and I was one of only 2 guys that broke 100. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But just but that's why you go there.
You love it.
Yeah,
just
you
love
really
it.
do.
If you've never been, folks,
yeah,
it's a must do on
yeah.
if you're a golfer, it's a must do on your bucket list.
And just real quick, when we played the Renaissance Club,
the Renaissance,
I'm playing with people from because U.S. Kids does a European Championship over there. And I'm telling these guys, listen, you can't hit wedge like you would at home.
No,
you got to hit 7 irons low. And the cool thing is you can putt from like 50 yards away.
Yeah.
Because the conditions are
150 as I did.
Exactly. But I mean, you got to keep it low, and that's the totally different part of the game that people here aren't used to.
Yeah.
We got to fly everything, and there you got to kind of bump and run a lot of stuff.
I love it. I love it. It's a great cup and
call.
We are presented by the Excite Junior Golf Tour. That is our sponsor, and we love those folks. So, in fact, I have to add our actual overlay here. I put the wrong one on. We're producing on the air right here. Oh, we'll find it. There it is. There it is. The Excite Junior Golf Tour right there.
Cool.
Perfect. All right. So we have a guest today, as we always do. We want to bring him in. He is, let's see if I can get him on right here. There he is. Max Sherman. Balls for Change. That's BALLZ for change.com. What's up, Max? How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Say hello to your friend Tom Shea.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Max, how are you?
I'm good.
EP in a little bit, but tell us what Balls for Change is all about. I mean, I'm getting involved with you in one respect, but you've got a whole enterprise down there in South Florida.
Yeah, it's quite the operation that we've grown. So my partner Michael and I started Balls for Change about 3-ish years ago now, out of my garage in Lantana, Florida, when I lived down there. So we had this bright idea one day that we're going to start figure out a way to get golf balls from golf courses and incorporate some sort of charitable component to that. So at first, we were just trying to figure out how to how the whole industry worked. How does the recycled golf ball industry worked? And we did a lot of research on kind of figuring out, okay, how does one go into a golf course, extract golf balls? And we quickly found out that you can either dive the golf course, roll the golf course, you take your little your scoopy things and you go in and you scoop the balls out. So there's all different ways. That was step one. Step two was, okay, now that we have this concept and we have an idea on how to extract the product, how do we actually give back and make a change? So I'm a golfer. I grew up playing golf, grew up playing all sports, but I played college golf at Florida Atlantic. My partner went to Stetson. He played club golf there. So golf was a big part of our life growing up. A lot of my friends ended up playing on Corn Ferry Tour, PGA Tour, stuff like that. So I wanted to keep the golf thing going because it's in my DNA.
Yeah.
So I reached back out to the South Florida PGA, who that's an organization down here, a chapter of the PGA of America down here that I grew up playing under, and we worked with them to develop a program where we dive their golf courses, but also use those balls inside those golf courses to then create a value to give back. So we have our secret little formula that we use with the golf courses, where we work with them and we actually give physical hard money back to the South Florida PGA and their charitable organizations. We also work with individual golf courses that don't want to participate in that program, but also want to participate in the charitable side of it. So for instance, there's one course we work with, and on their behalf we donate $12,000 a year to Hope for Warriors Foundation.
Oh, cool.
Play for Pink, and then that happens with a lot of other golf courses as well. There's another course we work with, without calling out clubs and names. They allocate $6,000 that we donate, that hard physical money on their behalf, to, I believe, they're Hope with Warriors as well. So it's a lot of good charitable components, and there's a lot of things these little golf balls that get hit into the lakes can do for people. Um, Golf balls are
That's
so
great.
expensive. I mean, it's
I
like
feel so
what's
much better about losing 6 balls the other day at Bradenton Country Club now. I
oh
feel
yeah,
so much better. I'm doing a charitable
oh yeah,
thing now. It's
oh yeah,
fantastic. It
oh
really is.
yeah.
Oh joy.
No,
Oh
it's
joy.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
it is. It is great. So how does this Tom, how does it tie in with foster kids?
Well, I found Max just a couple months ago
Mm-hmm.
and approached him about, doing basically collecting balls. Cause, on our side, my thought originally was, okay, we'll find a couple balls, clean them up, sell them, put that money back into the programs. And we did that a little bit with the Florida Sheriff Youth Ranches. But then I found Max and I thought, ooh, we could go bigger.
Yes.
And I said to him, I would like to create the Million Golf Ball Challenge just because of, the contacts that we've made throughout the state with foster care. And Max agreed. So,
So how's this going to work?
Well, we've actually already started with, I don't know, anywhere from whatever the number is. We're still working on it, but we've brought balls to Max. They're cleaning them up. They're figuring, what they're worth. And then he's going to make a donation back to Betty Vinny for the kids, which is where the Foster Guy Florida stuff falls under. So we're involved with the Guardian Ad Litem. We got a big clinic coming up next month. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But we're gonna partner together to raise funds for the foster kids of Florida.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Max, I have so many questions about what you guys do. Like first and foremost. What do you do with the alligators?
Yeah, man, I don't get in the lakes. I prefer playing golf and I prefer the country club. So it's hard for me to step foot in a lake. But our divers, they're super, super experienced. They actually are more scared of snapping turtles than they are of alligators.
Really?
Yeah, snapping turtles will take your finger off. An alligator will just nudge you and swim away. So that's
funny.
also like
I
a
did not
crazy
know.
thing.
Yeah.
Our diver, I'll never forget this. When we first started off, our one of our divers was telling us a story. He was at Allen Isles Country Club down here in South Florida,
Mhm.
and he was. They're known to have a couple ponds with some big alligators, and they call them puppies. They call them swamp puppies. And he was like, "Yeah, I was swimming, and this like 12-footer came in and just nudged me, and I was like, all right, did you like call it a day and like go get lunch and just cut?" They're like, no, I kept on swimming around, and then later in the day he came back and nudged me again.
What?
I'm like, okay, like probably time to get out of the water at this point. Like he's like, yeah, then I kept on swimming, and then for the rest of the day, everywhere I went, he was just right behind me, and I was like, so what goes through your head when there's a 12-foot alligator swimming next to you all day long? And he's like, he started equating it to like golden retrievers. They're like, yeah, they're just big like puppies, right? They want to check you out and then make sure. I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, that's an alligator. That's not a puppy. I have a puppy. She's 15 pounds and she cries when she
You
needs
don't
to go
got
pee.
teeth like that.
No, like it doesn't work. So after that, I just try and less is more with them.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about your alligator encounters or your almost getting bitten by a snake encounter. Like I don't want to
I'm
hear it. I'm
guessing
the
you
one.
don't provide
Yeah.
health insurance for these guys.
No, but the general liability insurance is expensive, and the less I know, the better when I get have to
Yes.
answer questions at the end of the year.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I'm like that. I did not see that story coming today.
Oh no.
no,
What about with snapping
Yeah.
turtles? Have we had an incident with snapping turtles?
not that I know of.
Not.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not.
Well, these guys are definitely braver than I'll ever be, and as Max
For
said
sure.
as well. I mean, because I think the biggest surprise, I've been here in Florida for 30 years. I think the biggest surprise, and I'm always on the lookout. Like, we had a gator crossing the path today with the kids camp, and it was far enough away with everything safe.
Where was this?
This was at the Eagles,
Oh.
yeah. And it was about a 10-footer.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, impressive. But again, we ignore them, he ignores us.
Yeah, they're not going to chase you down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest surprise, I have not seen as many snakes as I thought I'd see.
Yeah.
So think about it. The alligators eat them, the birds eat them.
Yeah.
So they're always hiding. I mean, I've seen moccasins, I've seen rattlesnakes, and I've seen some coral snakes, but nothing what I expected to see.
Yeah.
And I know they're out there. But,
Yeah.
Oh,
you
they're
try to,
there. They're there.
they're definitely there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about snakes? Or snake? Do they have any encounters with snakes?
I don't know. Snakes are weird, right? Because like a moccasin and a water snake, I've been on this big snake kick lately because my house is like backs up to a little pond and I saw a snake the other day. So now I'm like in super snake mode where like I all this like snake anti-snake stuff and because I hate snakes, but
Yeah. Me
apparently
too.
like the moccasins and the water snakes, they look identical pretty much, except for like a couple patterns. So you don't know which one's which and like the moccasin's more aggressive, and obviously, if you get bit by a moccasin, like that's got to get to a hospital pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So snakes, I don't know. Like I would be the craziest thing about golf ball recovery is you have to understand the visibility the second they go under the water is zero.
Right. That's what I
So
thought. Yeah.
there's no visibility. So they go in and they drop down and they're just their eyes are closed and they're just feeling around. So like you don't know if you're picking up an alligator, eyeball or a golf ball. Like
Right.
it's a and trust me, these guys get paid well. It's not like they're going in there for $12 an hour. Like
Right.
these guys are making like a very very good income. We treat
I
them
got to
really
know
well.
what. Come on. You can tell me. What do they make?
If you're a good diver, you're making like, six-figure plus a year. Like you're
Nice.
you're making good money.
You're being paid.
Oh,
You're being paid for your bravery.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hazard
But
pay.
but it's also one of those things where I have to get the golf courses for them. So like, I have to make sure that I'm providing good golf courses for them. I can't provide them like,
Yeah.
I have to be careful because like there's some courses we have that are only 18-hole facilities with not a lot of lakes, and they go in there and they go dive for 4,000 balls in a day, and they're just like, this is crap today. Like I didn't make anything, significant. But then I put them in like a Bear Lakes Country Club in West Palm Beach, and they're gonna pull 20,000 balls in 2 days, and they're like, okay, that's a good.
20,000?
Yeah, that's just
20,000?
Oh yeah,
Okay. And
that's
so how often does it replenish 20,000? Like, is that once a year?
so right now we're implementing a couple new things in place for like best practices for diving and recovery. We're trying to limit the exposure of how often we put a diver in the lake and try and use more like eco-friendly
Yeah.
tools. Like there's these rollers that you can roll golf balls with. The issue is they're a little bit harmful to the bottoms of the pond. So we're working with our team to like implement some
Yeah.
stuff with
I would think you
those.
could do it without divers. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. It's just you want to be careful because you don't want to rip up the bottom of the pond.
Right.
So there's some stuff we're working on to make it safer. I mean, man, those things can pull 25,000 balls in a day, and I can work one course for 3 days
25,000 balls?
easily. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Golly.
like
That's insane.
And I
there's
got
a
a silly
lot.
That's a
question.
lot of
I
golf
got a
balls.
silly question because, I see it a lot at
Mhm.
at a lot of golf courses. I mean, they just don't. And I always laugh because this is
Yep.
kind of annoys me because I've become that old man. I have to find that
Yeah,
ball
yeah.
on a daily basis. But a lot of courses like they don't really do a good job on the weeds just around the edges.
Right.
You know, and again, like you say, you want to be protective. I get it, but
Mhm.
do you work with the courses in that regard on them, providing kind of a clean atmosphere for you, or is there other
Yeah.
courses you're
So
looking for?
yeah, I mean that like our whole thing is like they're really clean up. So like when we go in, like I mean, last year we found a golf cart down in the bottom of a pond, and we were like, "Hey, you guys have a golf cart down there?
Did you
Do you
know?
do you want us to try and get this for you? Like we can try." So we try and do like full recycling. So like if there's trash and stuff on the bottom, yeah, we're gonna go do that
Oh,
extra step to
nice.
help you out and save.
Very cool.
I would love to implement some sort of weed killing because I'm super OCD with golf. Like to me, like weeds on a golf course drive me crazy. And I know exactly what you're talking about, the
Yeah.
overgrown crap that just
Yeah,
makes it
yeah,
1% more ugly.
yeah.
Um,
And
I
I
would
know there's
love to do
thousands of
that.
balls under those weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that courses would be open to that, but at the same time, they get very finicky if you have to use like, any sort of weed killer to like pull them and stuff, because God forbid that gets on the grass and starts killing grass, like
Yeah.
everything just starts going downhill. Definitely something I've thought about. Something that's crazy is the little golf ball mafia with the greens crews. When they're cutting down the trees and stuff, you would be amazed on how many balls fall out of palm trees a year.
Oh wow.
It is insane. Like these guys that work at golf courses, they'll come to us and sell us balls, and they're the toughest people to negotiate with. And they'll come up and they'll just be like 3,000 balls, and I'm just like, it's just like crews of them. It's like all the grounds crews. They all pull up, and usually they have like one person who's like their union negotiator.
3,000, like there's that many
Oh,
up in palm trees.
oh, so
So,
many.
so when your
There's
ball
so many
goes
golf
up
balls.
there and it hits up there, and then you can't find it, you never think it's got stuck up there.
Yeah.
You never.
Oh yeah,
It
no,
probably
it's
did.
up
Actually,
there.
I've seen it quite
Yeah.
a bit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
God, this is a fascinating. I know we're not talking about foster kids that much, but I'm fascinated by this whole industry.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
so 20,000 balls. So then you collect them and you clean them. Does it matter
Mhm.
how long they're in the water as to how they perform?
All
Like,
right,
how do you
so
know
this
which
is
ones are good and which ones are bad?
so this is really interesting, right? And the biggest comment uh we get back is like, waterlogged balls. Do waterlogged balls exist? Okay. If a ball is waterlogged, like you will clearly see the bubbles on it. Like this ball is not sellable. Like we don't sell those balls. So all the older ones, they all work fine. So we had a batch of Pro Vs, and with the Pro Vs, we get the new ones, the old ones, the really old ones.
Right.
So we took my partner went out 2 weeks ago and took Pro V 932s or something like that. They're
Mhm.
like 20 something year old balls, stacked them up against the brand new Pro V1. And he took the GC4 GC quad out there on the course.
Mhm.
And he's a plus handicap scratch golfer like
What's the
myself.
GC4? Tell the folks.
It's like a TrackMan. It's a launch monitor.
Right. Okay.
TrackMan and
Is your ball
GC, two
speed
most
and
popular.
that stuff? Right. Okay.
Ball speed, distance, spin. He took both balls. He had better performing data with a 20-year-old golf ball than the brand new golf ball. And our biggest thing we get kind of poo-pooed on is, oh, you sold me golf balls that are 5 years old. It's like, first off, man, you're buying used golf balls, so does it really matter? Second off, like we have data that actually shows us that like the older model Pro Vs that we clean and get back into good shape, because we don't coat them, we don't paint them, we just we get all the algae off of them, we soak them in water, put Dawn dish soap on them, they run through our cleaners, and voila, they're clean. Like they perform, the older ones are outperforming brand new balls out of the box. So the biggest myth that people are being sold are like the Reddit trolls and the people on the golf forums that don't know what they're talking about. And early on in the company, every time somebody would like, crap on us a little bit, I would just say when and where. Like you tell me what golf course you want to play, and you pick the ball you want to use and you want me to
Holy
use, and
crap.
I'll
So
go
if
at
you
you with
if
it.
you get some new balls, just put them in water for like 3 or 4 years, and then just start
Exactly.
taking, and then you'll hit them farther.
Yeah, exactly.
And Max,
That's all
that's
you
funny
gotta do.
because I about 20 years ago, I took out the Pro Vs. I took out, I think, the Strixon, the Callaway, I don't know, 5 or 6 different balls, and I played 3 or 4 holes with it. And there might have been a 1 yard difference here or there.
Yeah.
One might have spun a hair more, but there really wasn't much difference. I mean,
Yeah.
and I love what you said. You go out and challenge them because that's a great idea.
That's fantastic.
Come on,
It's
buddy. I'm going
it,
to take this range ball and I'm going to beat you with it.
it's BS. Like it's interesting, right? So like I've done testing with every single premium golf ball, right? And then do I see a difference with like, okay, if I go out and I go play a Pro V1 or a TP5 and then I go put a Top Flight in the bag? Yeah, okay. That's when I start seeing a difference with me, because those balls just go straight up in the air and whatever. But like if you give me any model Pro V1, any model TP5, they're all going to be within like,
The tour ball.
five. Yeah, the tour balls are, because those are the balls I play. They're
Right.
all going to be within the same, margin. But then if you give me all the non-tour balls, those balls are also, that data is also going to be pretty similar as well. So it's actually consistent, and it's like you'll optimize and find the right ball for you. But there's just so many people that just like, it's not about the ball you play. It's
Yeah.
like you got to hit the middle of the club face. 99% of golfers don't hit the middle of the club face. That starts
Exactly.
with that. And if you're not hitting the middle of the club face, your data is going to be wrong anyway.
So just so for your business as well, let's promote your business. So if I want to get a dozen Pro Vs from you
Yeah.
guys, what's it going to cost me?
Brand new, or sorry, mint Pro Vs are like $31 a dozen, plus probably 15 to 20% off whatever discount we're running on the site.
So that's about
That's $25 less, yes,
Yeah,
than
$25
brand
less.
new ones. Yeah.
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 And like you say, they're good, just as good, if not better.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about
And then,
that?
you could spend a couple more bucks for like a pristine, which is like no logo, no Sharpie mark. Then we have, near mint, and 3A is like 3A is a little beat up. Like that's a ball that's seen better days, but like at the end of the day, that's like a $12 Pro V. I mean, if you're taking, if you're going out on the golf course and you're just trying to hit some balls around, you want to use a Pro V, like, you buy the 3A balls. If you're want to
Yeah.
use them for like actual casual play, near mint, mint, and pristine are really good. And the goal is the more you buy, the more you save, right? So we want people to buy, about 48 balls, because that's where you're going to see the most savings versus,
Mhm.
buying new.
Mhm.
And, it's what we really try and push is it's the whole ecosystem of golf, right? So like if golf balls are getting more expensive, then there's going to be less money to spend at the golf course on other products, right?
Right.
So, you know, if average round of golf in America, let's just say is like $40, right? And you're spending $65 on a box of balls in the pro shop, you're not really going to want to go to buy lunch
No.
after the round. You may not want to spend money for the cart girl or whatever. So let's start with the golf balls. That's the first thing you need to play golf besides golf clubs. So assuming you have golf clubs, you spend $30 on Pro Vs versus 65. Now you have $30 extra to spend with the cart girl for lunch. So then you just reinvest into the whole entire golf ecosystem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like our thing is like golf was dying, what, 4 or 5 years ago? I mean, it was
Mhm.
right before COVID. It was like
Yeah.
just trending down. COVID spiked it up, and like in order to continue that momentum, it's important to remember where golf was at and then how it got to where it is now, and all the little things that are stimulating the sport.
Yeah. That's cool.
Hey, Max, real quick. I don't know, if,
Mhm.
and I know we're kind of finalizing our first batch of balls, but,
Yeah,
I like to say good, so, and
yeah,
ugly. But
yeah,
like, what was the breakdown of what we brought to you? Can
yeah.
you
I thought
remember?
it was yeah. It's a solid batch of balls. Yielding like
It's a ball review.
yielding fine. Yeah, nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary.
And I tried
Um,
to clean them out a little bit before anyway. So
yeah, yeah. No, they
How'd you get
they
your
they were
balls,
good.
Tom?
that's funny. I just over the years, JP. I mean, I've driven my wife crazy. The greatest thing was her seeing Max when we delivered those things about a month
Mhm.
ago. She was
Yeah.
so happy, and
Yeah.
my garage. But it's just a matter of me finding them, people finding them, people donating them. I've kind of
Mhm.
been softly, getting the donations for a while.
Yeah.
So I think we got it up to, I think we're up to like 4,000 balls or something
Nice.
like that.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Yeah.
but again, that's the first wave, and a long way to go. But there's a lot of resources out there. As Max found out with the South Florida section, I'm involved with the North Florida section,
Mhm.
and then just the foster care community alone, that we're gonna build this on. So
That's awesome.
I'm excited for the partnership. So
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
you
And
also get the balls for the golf balls for the foster kids as well. So
exactly,
they don't have to spend money on
yeah.
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
And
very
then
cool.
like, we can always clean them up, and then, if you bring us the inventory, we clean them, we get them back in the tip top shape, and then you take what you need for your programs as well. So there's a lot that can happen with golf balls. People overlook it because it's not the prettiest industry in the world. It's a real working industry where in order to make money, you have to go out and you have to source your product, and you have to have the relationships, and
Mhm.
you have to know the sport. And it's not like this like industry where I can just order product on online and have it delivered to my warehouse. Like we have to do the dirty work. We touch a lot of balls every day. They get they get cleaned, they get sorted, they get graded, they get packaged. I mean, it's touch, 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 and there's not a whole lot you can do. Like, yeah, we can automate it. We support a lot of like local high school people, kids down here, and we'll give them a lot of summer opportunities and hours to work. And yeah, my payroll gets a little crazy sometimes, but it's nice seeing uh younger generation coming to work and actually having to not sit behind a computer, and they're actually
Yeah. Out
working,
there doing
moving.
woo.
That
Yeah. In the
I mean,
summertime.
they're sweating and they're tired at the end of the day, but they're saving up for a new car, and they work for 3 years, and then when they turn 17 years old, they have enough 16 years old, they have enough money now to buy a new car. And it's like, your hard work bought you that car.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
cool.
that's how it works. And like I try and preach to some of these kids, like, you got to start second you turn 18, like save your money and start investing, because by the time you graduate college, if you have the same work ethic you had when you bought your car, you can have that same mindset. You can buy your first apartment or first
Yeah,
condo or first house or something
absolutely.
like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, so it's just,
That's awesome.
yeah,
So you're
no, it's
teaching
fun.
kids life lessons as well while they
Uh,
search for golf balls.
I'm,
That's great.
yeah, just trying to teach them my mistakes.
Wow. It's fun. We have learned so much, from alligators and snakes and snapping turtles and everything else. And now I know how dangerous it is to do that stuff, but it's well worth it. So send your crew over to Bradenton, get my Pro Vs that I dumped in every lake over there. Absolutely. All right, Max, once again, it's ballsforchange.com, right? They can
Yeah,
go there and purchase.
ballsforchange.com.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it shows all the different charities
yeah.
that you're
So
working with too.
if you go to that website, it'll direct you to our purchasing website, and you can figure it out from there. But that's what we're about. Just trying to get back one ball at a time.
I like that. Great slogan. Max,
Yeah,
thanks, buddy. I appreciate your time.
awesome,
Thanks
cool.
for
All
all
right, you guys have a
the
good one.
charitable work too. That's good stuff.
Thanks, Max.
I appreciate
Appreciate it.
All right. Good stuff, man. What a good guy. That's great.
Oh yeah.
That's
Like I
fantastic.
said, just found him. I was actually down at a place called Hunter's Run. I think we've talked
Yeah,
about this.
yeah.
54-hole facility. We were doing our U.S. Kids Florida Cup down there, and I just kind of the day we were leaving, I found these guys, and we've been talking, and like I said, I gave them my first batch, and now we're working on our next batch. So
Awesome.
but really great companies.
They'll give back to the foster care program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell me about what's going on with your parent-child events and all that stuff. Catch me up.
Well,
on
we've
what's
got
going
we've got a big clinic coming up that kind of is growing daily, because I was just on the phone with our, one of our guardian ad litems out of the Daytona area, and they just recently put together a marketing group, and they're really excited about this. So it's growing, but we're going to do our first clinic with them on Saturday, August 16th at the Eagles.
At the Eagles.
We've got about 45 kids coming so far. They've actually going to provide them with backpacks for back to school stuff.
Oh, nice.
We also discussed we need to put some stuff together for the kids that are going to age out of foster care.
Right.
They need stuff like pots and pans and things that are, they're going to be responsible for it because they're going to be on their own.
Right.
And then, we've got some stuff scheduled for some future stuff. I'm going to be on the road the next 2 weeks up in Pinehurst, but we're going to grow those clinics around the state through the guardian ad litem.
So if folks want to get involved, where do they go? Do you have a website?
They can go, it's getting there. Right now they can contact me, just Tom Shea at pga.com. But I promise by the time I get back to our next episode, to have the website live, and that'll be fosterguyfl.com and .org.
All right, fosterguyfl.com.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And right now, Tom Shea at pga.org.
At pga.com.
That's SHEA.
That's it.
The only way you spell
just like this,
like my daughter.
Just like the old stadium. Exactly. There you go.
Just like the old stadium as well.
Exactly.
So we got that. Tell me a little bit about our sponsor, the Excite Junior Golf Tour.
Excite Junior Golf. They do some really cool things, but their big thing is they have partnered with the Corn Ferry Tour to do these pro junior events. So they've done 2. They're working on a few more. They're also involved with some stuff we're doing down in Bradenton with One More Child. So they're, they like to say they're different, and they are different. Because they're not your typical junior tour where you're doing events on a regular basis. But they've partnered not only with us, but also some different organizations to just to promote a different presentation. So, and we've got some stuff coming up that we'll be doing with them as well. So
Excite Junior Golf Tour. They have a website if people want to get their kids involved in that.
ExciteJuniorGolfTour.com.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. And they've got some really good information on there.
Yeah. And they're based out of Bradenton?
Bradenton, Sarasota area.
Yeah. So if you got kids in that area that want to get into the golf tour and get competition,
exactly.
Excite Junior Golf Tour down there.
Exactly.
Cool stuff. All right. Anything else going on with the foster care, the kids? Anything? You always got some events going on.
Well, it's definitely growing. I mean, I'm excited about because we're kind of, we're really kind of going towards the teenagers and, as I mentioned earlier, the kids aging out of foster care. Because I do think, there's a lot of opportunity with golf.
Yeah.
I had a conversation this past week. Somebody else that's going to get involved. We probably have to get him on too. A gentleman by the name of Ralph Dane. He is the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, Florida rep, and they have a program called the First Green. And the First Green is basically to teach you, kind of the maintenance side of business. But it's a STEAM program. Started out STEM. They've added the arts.
Yeah.
So science, technology, math, all that kind of stuff. And it's really a very cool program. I talked to our super the other day, and every time I say, "Hey, have you ever heard of the First Green?" No, I've heard of the First Tee.
Right.
Totally different. So the First Green, and that's firstgreen.org. That's a program that's, can be implemented into the schools. And we're going to bring that in for the clinic as well. So that'll show them, like in the past, we've used a stim meter, which most people don't know what that is. We also, one of the things too, they take the temperature of the putting green. Well, why do they do that? They got to make sure it doesn't burn off or burn up. So they have to water it at a certain time.
Right.
So, I've learned things just watching these guys, they'll do the calculate the square footage for, how much fertilizer to put down, things like that. So, there's a lot of
the whole agronomy and
exactly
how to maintain a golf course.
Exactly. And, not only, working as a golf superintendent, but you can also be a golf superintendent under the PGA of America.
Yeah.
So I just think there's a lot of opportunity, and that's what we're trying to create, bringing as many partners as we can to, I've mentioned to you before, again, if somebody wants to be a journalist, if somebody wants to be a broadcaster in golf, that we have that classification under the PGA. So, there's a lot of golf writers out there, but there's also broadcasters and guys that have their own podcasts and shows like that. So, just a lot of opportunity. So that's what I'm trying to do. I've said it before, I'm getting more comfortable saying it, but I'm really trying to find the next me. I got lucky enough where I was sent off to caddy at the golf course, and the rest is history. And, there's caddy programs out there as well. Not as many in this area as where I grew up, but again, there's still that opportunity to be able to do, really anything you want using golf as the vehicle. So very cool.
So if you're, I know people will search podcasts and foster care, and they're going to come across this show, and they'll listen to it and they'll go, "Oh, I got some foster kids here. How do I get them involved? I want to get them involved with Golf with Tom Shea. Tom Shea at
PGA.com.
PGA.com.
Yep. And then we'll have the website up here live shortly. So
awesome. Great stuff, my friend. All right. Who's going to win the Open? Who you got?
You know what? I really hate to say this, but
go ahead. Say
I don't want Scheffler to win.
You don't?
I know he's the number one guy.
And
he's right there.
The other day about.
Oh yeah. About winning. Yeah. Just, hey, you know what?
Did that bother you?
No, not at all. Because
I didn't hear it. He basically said, "Look, I got bigger things in my life as being a father, a dad. My faith.
He does exactly. He's strong.
And that's completely cool. I know a lot of people took umbrage at that. I'm like, why? Just because it's not, the most important thing in the world for him to win.
Yeah.
And I think to some degree, I think our Brando Chambly says, like, because it's easy for you, Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably why he wins, because it's not the most important thing in this life. I think that takes the pressure off. A lot of people don't, he'll hear people talk about their faith, and I want to, thank the Lord Jesus Christ for putting me in this position. Goes, oh, like God wanted you to win. No, that's not what it's about. It gives people that are deeply faithful, it gives them the peace of mind of knowing that if they don't win this golf tournament, they're going to be okay.
Exactly.
And it frees them up. It literally frees them up for any sport that you play, and it frees them up to just like, hey, this is what I do. It's not what I am. It's not who I worship. It's not what I worship. And I think that's what he was kind of saying. And I think it's cool.
I remember when he was having his first child.
Yeah.
He said it. He would have left the golf course, even if he was leading.
Yeah. Now, if I was his wife, I'd say, honey, don't be stupid. There's nothing you can do here. You ain't pushing. I am.
But it would have been great to see.
Yeah.
Is that, I think that's a true test. But again, like you said, it's Scotty Scheffler. He's won a lot. He's got tons of endorsements. I mean, money's not an issue, but I agree that I think it just lightens the load.
Yeah.
And just mentally sets him up to be like, hey, if I miss it, oh well.
Yeah.
I like to say, listen, you play golf with me and I miss a shot, I start laughing.
Yeah.
Because I know what I did.
Yeah.
So it's like, where years ago you'd be grinding and not being able to hit that shot.
Like the 10th shot in a row that's bad. Then I start getting pissed. I laugh at the first 9. Now I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing
Well, you
out
were
here?
probably mad when you threw those 6 balls into the water, but I get that, so.
Yeah, I'm not
but-
used to that.
But yeah, I mean, again, he's got a different mindset. So, I listen, Mickelson's right there. This is probably where we get into the live versus the PGA stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm always rooting for the live guys because I just want them.
Why?
I just want them to kind of just.
Why?
I just want them
You're
to
a
just.
PGA Tour guy.
I just want them to disrupt the. Well, listen. When they said they were going to partner, which they're still trying to figure out, I was blown away for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So now I'm just, I just want them to, get this deal done if they're going to merge. So I just, I kind of root for the live guys just to kind of, upset the apple cart, as they say. So
Yeah, we'll see.
So, but I don't think Mickelson. But it was nice to see him.
He's not going to win. He's not going to win. I think Rory, after the last time they were at Port Rush and he just completely crapped the bed. He seems a lot more.
I think you're always rooting for him. Hey, if Scotty wins, that's awesome. But
but I just think it's a huge advantage for these guys that grew up playing there.
Oh yeah,
the conditions.
Big time.
And I just it's a huge
who's one of the
advantage.
leaders? Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
I mean,
Shane Lowry and Rory. I'll pick the 2 guys that grew up there in North Ireland.
You know what?
I
will here
advantage.
If I got to be hard pressed to pick somebody, only because he blew it a few weeks ago, I'd really love to see Tommy Fleetwood.
He can't win.
Come on now.
He can't win.
I mean, he listen, how did it always amazes me, and I'm drawing a blank.
If you haven't figured that out by now,
I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name. I worked the Bob Hope Classic years ago, back in the early 80s.
Dating yourself with the Bob Hope
I am,
Classic,
but I remember a guy, and I'll remember probably when we're off the air here, but the guy shot 63, and then I proceeded to watch him shank. I never seen anybody do it. Shank drivers. Like me, I would have went and hit a few putts and went to the pool.
Right.
So the next day he shoots 75. But again, it's all about the
shanking drivers.
I've never seen anything like it.
How do you do that?
I don't know. I think he just was rocking it right off the neck. Yeah.
So nervous.
I don't know what it was. But he had shot 63 and the next day he shot 75.
Jeez,
and it's like, I get it. It's the putter, but that's what happened to Fleetwood. Fleetwood shot 63 on Saturday and then shot 74 and couldn't make a 3-footer. And I can't believe he won't win. I mean, he's won 10 times in Europe. He's
never won a PGA Tour.
Yeah, he's got to crack it. So nice guy though. We met him at Valspar. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I wish him the best. Yeah. I don't think he can win, but I wish him maybe over there he can win.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. One of those guys. So
all right. So Tom Shea, SHEA at PGA.com.
Yes, sir.
That's a great way to get in touch with you, and we'll have more on the website. And don't forget, Excite Junior Golf. Thank you very much for sponsoring this wonderful show. We will be back with our next one in about a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have a guest for you then as well. So from my good friend Tom Shea, JP Peterson saying thanks, everybody. And we will see you next time.
Thanks, JP.
You got it, buddy. And our closing music is always